They're good though. No, thank you all. They're really good. Yeah. I mean, they have, like any kids, they have their moments.
They're the best. I'm glad mine are grown.
Does anyone else need an agenda? Anybody else? Sorry. Okay, last call. Did you sign in, sir?
That was back in 1960.
I was gonna say you're gonna have to do a new chair.
I'd like to call the meeting to order. Everyone who can stand, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and then remain standing for a brief moment of silence in recognition of the anniversary of September 11th and in remembrance of the lives lost that day. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call.
Ms. Cook? Ms. Falcone? Here. Mr. Haney?
Here.
Ms. Hassler? Here. And Mr. Miller?
Here. A note for the record, there were executive sessions held on August 26th and the 31st, 2024 regarding labor negotiations with the Teamsters, Local 773. I'd like to request a motion to approve the minutes. From August 26th.
Presented to you. I'll make that motion.
And a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? No discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried. Tonight's, we're gonna hold interviews for the candidates for appointments to Borough Council. If all those that applied would wanna come up, take a seat. Just pick your favorite hot seat, and we'll get started. I guess what we'll do, council members, if you would like to ask a question, we can state the question and have each candidate answer it before we move on to the next question.
Should have them introduce themselves first for
Okay.
the record.
Yes, could you start over here with Mr. Arndt?
Scott Arndt.
And next,
Carol Eisenhart, Franklin Street. Diane Zelinski, East Smith.
Lori Andrioni, Penn Street.
Julie Summer, East Mission.
okay, welcome. Elaine, do you want to start?
Sure. Okay, so some of you we know because you've been to a lot of meetings, thank you all. I know you're on the planning commission, Julie, thank you. Scott, you're here all the time. You're here all the time too, Carol. It's good, I'm so glad that you all decided to step forward. So I have a question, I was thinking, you know, this is a job, I mean, it's not but I was curious what all of you do for a living. And one question I would like to ask you is what skills do you feel you possess that make you do the job that you do, or if you're retired, the job that you did do? So, Scott, why don't you?
So I'm retired for 4.5 years now. Part of that, I worked in Kutztown at the Steel Foundry. I also worked at Boyertown at the Cast Iron Foundry. And then the last 15 years, I worked in recycling. So I have experience on both sides of the fence, union and non-union, so.
I'm retired several times. After my first retirement, I went back to paraprofessional at the school district here in Topton. Previous work was working in a law firm, working at Rockwood Embroidery. That's about it.
Thank you, thanks.
Well, I own my own business, and I've been doing that for 43 years. And I probably should retire, but I love it, so I keep going. And I also am a grandmother with 23 grandchildren. I'm a communicator, I love people, and I have a 90-by-30-foot garden that's been sorely neglected. I like to can and freeze and cook and all that, and I saw a need, and I'm here to maybe fill it.
Next,
Okay, I work for East Penn Manufacturing, and I've been there for 16 years. And I process battery orders, and I would say my biggest strength is probably paying attention to detail and verifying that information's correct and the batteries are going to the right place and so forth.
thank you. Last one,
I was a biochemist, which I quit 15 years ago to raise my boys. And now that my last one's going to college on Sunday, so I got some time. And I have worked in the planning commission, I think, for around 11 years. Did a lot through the school, was vice president of the intermediate school for a while. Worked with the Cub Scouts, was Cub Master. I just love to help out within the community and work in the community.
thank you. Do you have any other questions, Elaine?
I do, I guess, so our job here on this council is to help navigate, the direction that our town's gonna be going moving forward, so. There's a lot to this job where, I mean, it's not really our job, but it's a role we play we give our leadership, we hire people to do the work of our borough. As you know, we have staff that's out in the field, we have staff administratively that processes all the paperwork and makes sure we're compliant with all the laws and regulations. So, as far as, our responsibilities, do you feel there'd be any conflicts or any difficulties that you might have in doing the things that we need to do? Sometimes we have to make decisions that are a bit uncomfortable because many times there's gonna be situations where you know information that may be confidential and the public does not. And now we're making a decision on something and we may not necessarily be able to share all the details, and sometimes you're on the hot seat. So I guess I wanted to see if any of you felt that you might be uncomfortable, in a situation where not everyone is happy with you all the time, the things that you have to do. So any comments on that?
Yeah, all my prior work experience, a lot of it on management, and I had to make decisions and sometimes keep things from people. It was hard, but you had to do it. So. And I wasn't always the favorite, so I had no problem with it.
Working in a law firm, you have the confidentiality, you cannot, disclose anything, you're working in a law firm. And even with the school, working with young children, you can't, disclose anything that you know about, their grades and, difficulties that they might be having, because that would not sit well with the parents. So I have no problem with that. I think I'm a fair person. I've had to make hard decisions in my life, and I don't like the way I see things in the borough. So, I know it's not popular. I see a lot of things on Facebook condemning the current council, and that's not right. People need to come to the meetings and find out exactly where this town stands. And you just have to ignore some of the things a lot of the time. So I don't see a problem with any of that.
Okay, well, for ditto to everything, I also, in my business, was responsible for as many as 125 people that I was training, etc. And so some of the things that you mentioned, Glenn, I have to deal with on a regular basis.
I really don't have any concerns with that. I just think, you try to do the right thing with the information you have, and, that's it. If you try to do the right thing, then it doesn't really matter what,
One, I'm not on Facebook or any social media, so I don't have that information. And I, definitely not. And as far as being discreet with important things, as long as it's to protect, the community and to look out for the welfare of the community, it just needs to be, some things need to be kept under wraps until appropriate time, to look forward to everybody, constituency.
Okay. Does the mayor get to ask a question?
This question, because in the event of a tiebreak, the mayor will be a tiebreaker, so you can participate.
Well, I wasn't expecting that, so I really don't have questions, but I would like to say thank you to all of you for putting in. I mean, like Elaine said, we get faced with a lot of tough challenges and decisions to make, and all of you said in your answers to her, you're here for the community, and that's a big part. So again, thank you for putting your names in, but I don't really have any questions.
Okay. I only have one. And it's a question that was asked of me at one point that changed the course of where I am here. And that is, why do you wanna do it? Or why are you doing it?
Why I wanna do it, cause I lived here 61 years. And like Carol said, I don't like to see some of the things that are going on right now. And I have helped other people with different things, and I sort of felt like I was their spokesperson because they know I do come to the meetings, and I wanna die here. I wanna die in Topton. I don't wanna.
Don't die here.
I care about the town.
Thank you.
Well, I am a resident and taxpayer for over 40 years, and I am concerned about, the way the town is going, and I don't plan on leaving, especially after just purchasing another property here in town, so this is where I will die also.
Can we get a group break?
I'm same, I love this community, and, when I saw that there were some vacancies and there was a need, I felt like I wanted to be a part to keep our community going the way it is, and the lifestyle that we have here is, I think, something very special.
Thank you.
Yeah, I agree with what you all said. I grew up in this area and lived here most of my life, and I raised my kids here, and, I have 2 grandchildren, and I just want the best for them, which means, making the community better and, keeping it the way it was, I guess, in a lot of ways, because I like it the way it is, and so that's why I'm doing it.
Okay.
Same, as well as, we have this, like a quiet little town here, and I like what we have, it's almost like a little secret, a little quiet culture and community that, it has great history too. I just wanna see it thrive and continue to be a little secret that we don't put up. But we guys can share and grow, businesses especially, so we have a busier Main Street.
Thank you. That's all I have. Carol?
One question specifically for Julie, being on the planning commission, how many members are there on the planning commission right now?
We have a new member, so we're full right now. Yeah, I don't, I see where you're going with that. So tonight, I don't think I should be, chair anymore of the committee, but I think I can be an alternate or still on the committee. So it wouldn't affect it to a great extent. There's nothing on the planning committee's agenda right now, except for the joint comprehensive plan. And I do intend to still continue to do that, even if I were on council, if that's okay.
Just to let you know, you can stay on the planning commission as a member of Borough Council.
Okay,
It's been a while since I've been to a planning commission. How many planning commission members do you have?
we have the 5, right?
5, okay, so I believe up to 2 can, need to be citizen members, so you're in good shape that way. You are welcome to stay on. There is no conflict. The municipality planning code allows it.
One other question for everyone, we'll start with Scott, is there one particular thing in your heart that you would like to see, a direction or whatever, that you'd like to see for Topton?
Like when this all came about, I said to my wife right away, I gotta put my name in, without even thinking about it. And I go to other events in other communities, and I always leave that event thinking, why can't we do that here? And there's just, like, in 2 years, there's the 150th anniversary will be. I don't know who in this room remembers 1976. It was a blast. And there's 2 years left, and I'd just like to see something that we could do in 2026 that the whole community can get together and have fun.
Yeah, that's something too, I remember the celebration of 76. And I would just like to, make sure our taxes don't keep going up like they have, and that's a big concern for, I think, everybody in the community.
By the time it gets to. It's pretty much the same, I agree with both Scott and Carol, and, I think having community, festivals or even things like the Halloween parade, that we have all the different activities that we could increase that and also the taxes, for sure.
I pretty much agree with what's already been said. So, I don't really have anything else.
Just for the future, is there anything in your heart in particular you just have in your heart for the future of Topton?
Great. I do like the events, I like the street fair, I saw the book, I wasn't here for the time, but that book, they published that whole little book about 1976. So that's an impressive feat, I'm not sure if we're, maybe, but I'd like to see that.
Thank you.
Okay, Kathy?
Is everybody here a registered voter? Because you must be a registered voter in order to be on council, and you've all been here for more than a year, definitely. I know that you three have been to council meetings before, but I don't ever remember seeing either one of you at council meetings. Are you sure that you're ready for a hot seat, so to speak? It can get, people get very angry with us. And I know that the taxes are a big thing, but, we had to raise them last year, unfortunately, which was very hard on all of us because it affects us too. Can you think outside of that box, so to speak? I mean, Scott, can you think outside of the box?
Sure.
Yeah, you have to.
Yes, definitely. Just as long as people can think outside of the box, sometimes you have to do things you don't want to do. That's it.
Okay. This is gonna be easy but hard, because they're all good candidates. But out of an abundance of fairness for the members, the applicants that could not be here, I'd like to ask for a motion to appoint 2 of the council members tonight and the 3rd at the next regular meeting.
Okay, the way that would work, if you're going to do it that way, you have the option to fill 1, 2, or 3 seats. Everything came up rather suddenly, and there were 7 letters of interest put in, and 2 of the applicants were away, prepaid vacations, not able to be here. They can, however, be here on the 23rd. We want to get council as close to full strength as possible, but out of fairness to those, again, because of the short notice that all of you realize as far as the interview is being held tonight, that's why I recommend that as the procedure, but it is completely up to council whether to appoint 1, 2, or 3 tonight, and council president has recommended 2, but it's up to council to decide.
So I would like a motion from someone, whether we want to appoint 1, 2, or all 3 tonight, and then we can move forward from there.
I would like to appoint all 3 tonight.
I would second that,
Yes, I
think
would
all
like
of
to
you.
appoint all 3.
Okay? Then we'll move forward.
Well, we have a motion, a second, and call for the vote.
I can have a vote. Does that have to be a roll call?
Roll call, yep.
Roll call vote?
Ms. Cook? Yes. Ms. Falcone?
Yes.
Mr. Haney?
Yes.
Ms. Hassler?
Yes.
Okay,
All right, now what we'll do is we'll take nominations. There are 3 seats that are up. So each member you get as many nominations as you wish. And then we'll call for the vote. There is no second required for nominations. Then we'll call for the vote, and each member of council will, by vote for member number 1, number 2, number 3. Top 3 vote getters get the seats. I know it's a little bit complex.
so we're gonna, I guess, might as well follow the roll call and ask for nominations.
Well, I mean, let each member make nominations as they
Okay.
wish. You have as many nominations as you want.
I can nominate all of them.
You can, and you can.
I would like all of them. Okay, I'm nominating Julie, nominating Lori, I'm nominating Diane, I'm nominating Carol, and I'm nominating Scott.
So we have nominations for all 5, so since we have nominations for all 5, by definition, we'll close the nominations then.
Okay, nominations are closed.
Sorry, it's gonna be tough.
Because those who did not interviewing was considered, right. Now, I guess the next question is there any discussion before we call for the vote? Remember, discussion is in the open meeting because these are, not within the personnel executive session under the Sunshine Act.
Okay, is there any discussion?
You can't be in executive session, so.
No, and I realize that that's not the most comfortable thing, but that's what the Sunshine Act says. It specifically exempts the appointment to fill vacancies in elected office.
Ms. London, in previous appointments, did members who were interested step out while council and the audience were present while council discussed?
They can, but they're under no obligation to do so.
Oh, wait, are we still under the comment section? We're still in comments.
We are still, yeah, I mean, if there are still, it doesn't seem like there are any questions, and we don't have, residents are not going to be asking questions of the.
I just want to say to all the candidates that it's an amazing group. I'm very happy.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Not being selected today does not mean anything.
How long are these seats being filled? Because they're a term, correct?
The seats are being filled until the next municipal election. There was a municipal election held in November of 2023, and the next municipal election will be held in November of 2025.
Okay,
So these 3 seats, you'd have to run for them again, or anyone could run for them who was qualified in the November 2025 municipal election. So your term would end at December 31st, 2025.
So 2 of those seats that are open would be for that voting cycle. And the other 1 seat would be for the longer.
No, all of them, it's the next municipal election and then the term.
Oh, then it's
right,
passed up,
it's-
okay.
right, it doesn't just fill out the term.
Okay. So to the next election.
Right, to the next municipal election, you don't have that number here.
Okay.
So this is such a wonderful dilemma to have. How come I feel so lousy? This is
Realize that, as the council president said, realize that no matter what happens, none of this is personal, and we are glad you came forward.
And
very glad. Very great.
Well,
Thank you very
I'll
much.
say this, and it's just my opinion, I've seen some things happen over the years where I've seen people that really weren't focused on Topton. It was more about maybe egotistical reasons or just trying to push their own agenda instead of a town being at the focal point. So This is all about all of us that are on our council. I truly feel we love our town. We might not agree on things. That's fine, because there was a lot of yes men here, for many years, it just kind of, everybody agrees with everybody else, and we really want individuals who are looking out and giving their own, thoughts and directions to things. There's nothing wrong with looking at things from different angles, and that's what I'm hoping we can achieve by getting some new people here on council.
Okay, what's next?
Well, next thing is that, council can, before taking a vote, if council wishes to discuss this. And also because there's gonna be a vote taken, there can be public comment. The public can only offer comment, not any questions of those being interviewed.
So we can step out if we want to?
You can, we'd like you to, because just for your own comfort and everyone else's, but we can't compel you to.
Yeah, public comment, is it?
Okay, well, I mean, let's start with council, and this is public comment. Okay, I'll make sure you can hear. This is public comment only on the interviews of council candidates for appointment. There is going to be a hearing of visitors on other topics and other agenda items, so this is just limited to this item. What I'd like to do is start with the members of council and any comment that members of council might have, and then we'll go to residents.
Okay, Kathy, any comments?
We have some very good candidates sitting here.
Yeah.
Really do. Yes.
Carol?
I wonder how it works with the commission, the Topton Planning Commission for Julie. Right now, there's plenty on there that she can serve, but if one or two of them quit, would she then need to leave either council or the commission?
No, I don't think so. It's a 5-member commission, and I had sent the email around earlier today about when it's a 3-member planning commission, that one has to be a citizen member, and then it's 4 or 5, I believe it's 2 citizen members. So there are no other members of borough. I think Ethan, you said that Ethan had been on the planning commission as an alternate or as a representative council. And I don't believe that there are, is it correct, there are no other members of council currently serving? So she's fine to serve. If someday the number would be reduced, not just that there would only be 3 serving, but be reduced down to 3, then there would be a limit on how many members of council could serve. But right now, she is free to serve. As a matter of fact, the municipality's planning code almost encourages it. There are 2 sections of Article 2 of the municipality's planning code, which specifically refer to governing body members serving. So it keeps up a certain level of communication between the governing body and the advisory planning commission. So there's no problem with her doing so. It's a matter of policy with the governing body as to whether or not they wish to have it serve. I mean, there was one municipality in Montgomery County that years ago passed a resolution that they wouldn't have it at all, and they wouldn't have members of the governing body serving on the planning commission at all, and it was not considered a positive thing. We'll just say it ended up in court because I put it there. But that can happen too, but again, the municipality's planning code does specifically allow it, and there are sections of the borough code on incompatible offices, and that is not considered incompatible.
Thank you.
I have no comment other than I'm extremely happy with all the participation. Guys?
Well, I think they're all very good candidates. I think the situation we're in, I mean, I like the fact that some of them have been to almost every meeting that I can recall, so, I mean, there's a lot of issues going on in the borough, so I like that some are up to date on some of the issues, but I think they're all great candidates, so.
I would agree with Guy. I'm really glad that we have a few people here that have consistently come to meetings. I know that some of them have probably watched our meetings online because of time constraints. But it's nice to see people coming here and, you know, having a good idea of kind of what we deal with. And you don't really know till you're here. We have at least 2 of the 5 people that were actually 3 of the 5 people. I hope it's not too much for Julie, because she's going out to do planning as well, so. I remember I didn't vote for Tom Bilkcliff to be the tax collector, not because I didn't think he'd do great at it, but I didn't want to lose him here at our, table, because then that created another opening we had to fill, and that was difficult to fill.
Okay, are there any members of the audience that would like to speak? Please raise your hand, wait to be called on. Yes?
5 candidates, all with different skill sets. I don't know how you're gonna decide. I really don't. But I need to throw some good things about Julie. I have never seen someone who is so on top of what's going on in the borough, what needs to be done, what can't be done, and she's not afraid to fight for what she believes in. So, with being on planning commission with her, I'm amazed by how much this woman knows. I mean, it's crazy. And I asked her, how do you get all this? And she says, I read. She reads the code, she reads the ordinances, she reads salvos and everything else. And I feel like grasshopper to, my sensei master. She's crazy book for it. And a perfect addition, I think, to the council.
Thank you very much. Anybody else? Okay, can I close the discussion and
Yeah, call
call for the vote?
Yeah.
Okay, and we'll call back.
Yeah, and what you do is that we'll do a roll call vote, and you'll just name your choices.
Okay.
Name your 3 choices. It's not quite ranked choice voting, but it's, we won't call it ranked choice voting, and it's.
Change the number of members of council.
We have
You don't want to know how many paperwork would be involved. There are sections that are okay, there aren't. Go back to the audience. Sit back to the audience, that's fine.
So we're gonna do the, by roll call.
Go by roll call vote.
So, Stacy's gonna call your name, and you just name the 3 candidates that you're voting for.
Right, your top 3 candidates, we'll take 3 seats.
I'll do it alphabetically to be fair. Ms. Cook.
I'm sorry, this is too hard. Okay. Carol. Lori. Julie.
Next alphabetically, Ms. Falcone.
Julie. Scott. Lori,
Mr. Haney?
Mr. Hart, Ms. Eisenhart, Ms. Palmer.
And last but not least, Ms. Hassler.
Okay, Scott Horn, Carol Eisenhart, Julie Palmer.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, that's what I do.
Hold on, let me. All right, it looks like between Mrs. Eisenhart and Mr. Arndt, there is a tie vote, there's a tie vote of 3-3. So the mayor will have to break that tie. Does that agree with your totals?
Yes.
Okay. So the mayor breaks the tie.
In just 2 positions on the.
We are filling all 3 positions.
what's the total on my
Okay, Lori, what is your last name, Lori?
Andrew,
Lori, Ms. Andreoni, 2, and then between Mrs. Eisenhart and Mr. Arndt, 3 and 3.
So we have our top 3.
yes.
Oh, we do, okay. Okay, you do, I agree.
Audience, quiet please.
All right, so we have 3, new appointees. Do we have the oath of office forms?
Yes.
Okay, so if we could get and the mayor administers the oath of the Bible, I never.
So we bring the 3 winners up,
Yeah.
and the 3 winners, grab your chair.
Here's the application. Here's the oath. So this is what Carol's done. Or what's back.
Sneak this one here, so the chief has a chair. You just don't like small things. There's another chair. You're right. Christine, there's another one.
Scott, Poor Scott. Poor Scott.
Sorry, chief.
So you're a notary and administrator here, okay, that's
So
fine.
I'm gonna administer the oath, and I can do all 3 at once. So I need you to repeat after me, but first I'm gonna say, your name, each of you, and then I'll read the. So, it would be I, Julie Palmer, Carol Eisenhart, Scott Arndt. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States
And the Constitution of this Commonwealth.
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth.
And that I will discharge the duties
And I will discharge the duties
of my office with fidelity.
of this office with fidelity.
File secretary.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on to communications. Stacy?
There are none.
No communications. Mayor's report.
I'm just gonna touch on it again with school being back in, they did paint crosswalks. So if everybody can please watch your speed in town. I know I heard and seen some grumbling, again, with some people running stop signs and stuff, just watch out. I see a lot of kids walking home after school, just be mindful of the kids, please. That's all I.
Okay, police report.
Thank you. For Topton, August 2024, 1,004 patrol miles, 95 patrol hours. We handled 16 incidents, 1 crash investigation. We issued 9 traffic citations, total of 14 traffic stops, 1 non-traffic arrest, 15 additional hours of traffic checks, 3 hours of criminal investigation work, and 1 hour of court time. No reportable crimes for August. It's always a good thing. Personnel, I'm looking at a potential part-time officer. He's currently undergoing his required background check, which should start today. We've got quotes for new firearms and tasers. That's going to be for the 2025 budget discussion. And do you guys have your own national ad? Did ever reschedule it?
We didn't reschedule it.
We didn't reschedule it. So the one that we were originally having over at the Reading Fairgrounds, that was rescheduled from initially, and that's now for September 24th. So everyone's welcome to go there. Citation breakdown. 4 parking citations, 4 for speeding, 1 for abuse of traffic control devices, and then we also issued several warnings for traffic-related offenses. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
I have something for you. Here we go already, huh? There's 2 cars parked out on Main Street, 1 car and 1 van.
Yes.
Okay.
Van is green and black, the car is a Beetle. They've been there for a month.
Okay.
They were previously on the parking lot at the transmission shop. Now there's a body shop in the transmission joint, and they wanted them cars off the lot, so they put up-to-date inspection stickers on and pushed them out on the street. The cars have not moved for a month.
Yeah. I think
Well,
they're full of garbage.
The van is full of garbage. I know the owner of the van.
Like garbage.
So is it registered and inspected? I'm not sure. if I
They're
follow.
faking, I'd say they're faking inspection stickers, because that van would not pass inspection.
And you can't tell.
They're
there's
825
registration
stickers.
anymore.
Okay.
Emissions, and they're both exempt, so they have 825 emission stickers and inspection stickers. But I'd be willing to bet they're like in stick.
All right. I'll definitely take a look at it.
Very good, Scott. Okay, next is hearing and visitors. Anyone wishing to speak, please raise your hand and wait to be called upon. Statements are going to be limited to 3 minutes each, must be directed to all council, not be repetitive or derogatory in nature. Once called, please stand, state your name and address. Is there anybody who would like to speak?
We have a list. First on the list is Mr. Bauer.
Okay, Mr. Bauer.
So I have a couple things that I want to say and address the council. Yeah, because I would like this to be entered into the official record. I have a couple things that I want to address, and it's not going to be very popular, I can tell you that right now. And since I was removed from the agenda that I asked to be on, that came out on Friday, I guess I have to do it in 3 minutes. So the first topic I want to talk about personnel and the Teamsters negotiations. We have a personnel chair, which is Elaine Falcone. My question to you is, how many times did you sit with the employees or even ask them if they were happy and what was the most important items they were looking for during the budget reviews in the past 2 years?
Can I restate that questions need to be directed to the whole council, not?
Well, she's the personnel chair, that's why I'm asking her.
What's the rule on that?
I was looking at this, would you repeat the question?
He's
please?
directing a question to a single council member.
Because I'm asking the personnel chair.
This is public comment, just give your comment, please.
So, okay, well then so I'll rephrase that. How many times did anyone talk to the employees and see if they were happy and what the most important items were for them during the budget review time? I'm gonna move on because I only have 3 minutes. Our neighboring municipality, Maxatawny, is also unionizing. They have 3 meetings and they're putting final details on their deal. Where are we on finalizing our deal and how long has this been going on? I only have 3 minutes, so I'm gonna move on. Do you think coming to an agreement in 2022 for increases would have cost more or less money spent so far on the entire issue? Gonna move on. So approximately the amount of borough money residents, our money, which is what the tax money is, all of us sitting here that live in the borough, paying money. So far, the outside vendors during the strike and all the attorney fees we had to pay is $73,636.41. And we still don't have a deal. The maintenance guys are being paid with our money to ensure our safety, and it seems as though the council is working against them. You're here to represent us. By working against these employees, it feels as though you're telling us that you don't value our safety. Because it's not just about mowing the grass or anything else, it's in the winter, and it's making sure we have water that we can drink, it's making sure that the sewer is working. So my other question, and I'm gonna remove the name from it because I'm not allowed to address any one person, but some people on this council and their family have been repeatedly saying on social media that he is saving borough residents money.
Mr. Bauer, your time is up. Thank you very much.
And this will be made a part of the plans.
Greg Carter, 510 West Franklin Street. I would ask the council to, I would yield my time back to Mr. Bauer.
So there's a person on council that's been saying, and his family on social media, that he's been saving the borough money. After seeing that we spent $73,000 on this thing so far, can anyone explain to me how that's saving money? Because I have requested the bills with the right to know, I got them. I have requested a whole bunch of stuff to make sure that I have the facts right. Is that funny, Elaine?
Excuse me?
You just laughed at me.
I didn't laugh at you.
Yes, you did.
Mr. Bauer, address the whole council.
Does that whole council think that that was funny? So my question is, what happened to the sense of community? We no longer have music in the park. We don't have trunk or treat. We don't have a pool. We don't have any daily message on the chalkboard. We didn't have National Night Out or anything like that. I mean, it's almost like in the movie The Lion King when Scar took over and the Pride Lands look the way it does. That's what Topton's starting to look like. We have a pool sitting out here that is a little bit demolished. I mean, that's the first thing you see when you come into town. Everyone knows what happened with, the strike and everything going on. You have these people sitting here asking them why they want to be on council. Nobody said to them, what are your thoughts on the main issue in Topton right now? Guy brought it up and said, hey, we have a lot of issues right now going on. I'm glad to see that some of them, mentioned that they were involved in something like that before. I mean, I don't really want to stand for it, and I don't think other people are going to either. So the next topic I want to talk about is borough code and ethics. I noticed in the agenda, there is a note for the record that executive sessions were held August 26th, the 31st, and 2024. But nothing was mentioned about this meeting that was held here 2 Sundays ago with only 3 members. So my question is, why were there only 3 members there? I mean, Kathy wasn't there and Guy wasn't there. So I'm not sure why there weren't, the whole council wasn't, did you want to see the picture, Elaine?
I wanted to see any picture.
Okay. I mean, were they asked to join this meeting? We weren't told what the meeting was. The meeting wasn't posted. I mean, according to the Sunshine Law, even if it's an executive meeting, it needs to be announced. Maybe not saying what the meeting is, but because there were resignations, 3 people would be a quorum. That's the majority. So there was a quorum in here having a meeting. So I'm just curious as to what that was. And this question, well, I guess I can't really address a single person, but I'm curious if there's any borough code for current council members posting information on social media under their name and a possible pseudonym, essentially speaking for the entire council. I know that there are other municipalities where they do that and then they have to vote for someone to be the spokesperson for council. And that's kind of a new thing because social media is rather new, and I know we don't have that here. But if there's gonna be one person on council
Your
doing
time
that.
is up again.
Okay.
Monica?
Toby, you can keep going. You can take my time.
Okay. So if there's gonna be one person that is, doing this for council, then it should be voted on by council that says you're gonna be the spokesperson for us. Because whether we like it or not, a lot of people look on social media and that's where they get their information from. So, also, the last meeting on September 2nd, just before the meeting started, which went in with only 4 council members here, one council member went and whispered in the other council member's ear, and then they went and whispered in the other council member's ear, and then they didn't whisper in the other council's ear, and then we had to vote for the president and the vice president. I mean, it looks like that could possibly be collusion. Do we have a council or do we have a club? At the last meeting, also, somebody read a paragraph about how thankful he was that he was on council with previous people that just resigned. I requested their resignation letters, and I would suggest all of you do the same, because you will see just how professional those people were. You will also see that somebody resigned, then rescinded, then somebody else resigned. Again, is that collusion? I mean, I don't know. I'm not, it is what it is. However, I will give credit where credit is due. Michelle Stout followed through with the hometown hero banners, and that, she got that off the ground, she followed through, and that was a really good thing for Topton. And as Scott said, that is the type of stuff we all want to see and we all miss. That is what it is. That's really all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. And, Brady Hopp? Is there anyone else?
Brady.
What was his name? Brad?
Brady Littleton. It's probably, you can't read my handwriting. I don't know if this is a proper forum here, but, anyways, I did graduate in Brandywine in '76, and it wasn't a good year. Anyways, my concern is, I had bought the property down to the address is 41 Vice Street. And before we bought it, we went to Borough Hall. We were going to a convenience store, and we were told that was okay. And then we had Barry Isaac come before we bought the property, and he said the same thing, it was okay. And I remember saying to him, well, who makes the final decision here? And he says, I do. And then we bought the property, and then we get denied. And when I read the reason why, we are in an area, and it used to be I can remember years ago, it was a video shop. So I don't know what the reason was that I was denied. I never was really given a reason because we were told we could do it, and now we have to do a contingency and everything. But it's zone commercial, and I just feel like someone wasn't too upfront with us.
I'm not familiar with the situation.
What exactly did you ask for Barry Isaac?
They came before we bought the property and said, can we put a convenience store in there? And he said, yes. And I said, are you sure? I said, who do I need to talk to? He said, I'm the guy that makes the decision. We told him we were gonna do, we sent plans, and then they denied the request.
They give you reasons for the denial?
It said something about there were 2 sections, but when I went on and looked at the sections, we fit every, it's commercial.
Can you describe it? Which property is it? I'm not
It's
sure.
a gas
station. The old gas station.
And it used to be.
It's called the White Street Overlay District? Yeah.
It didn't come to me, so I will have to do research for council, because I don't have a clue.
We should look into this and see.
The convenience store maybe parking
we have 12, we have to have an architect that, you know, came down and do all the plans and everything, we spent
Can you
$14,000.
contact the office and,
Well, they said we had to put a contingency thing where we have to go.
When you say a contingency, do you mean an appeal to the zoning hearing? board?
Yes, and then we have to get like all the people within 500 feet, it's just a lot of work and
Right, it's an
time.
appeal form. Yeah, I mean,
Or conditional use.
Yes, I'm sorry,
conditional use would come before this council, so we can't comment on it. But Charlie, I would recommend somebody look into this
I sure will.
and see what the issue is here.
I will do so.
okay, thank you very
who
much.
do I contact on Sunday?
You already contacted me, sir. I reached out to you.
Oh, you went, okay, you were very helpful, okay.
I reached out to you when our staff and
Okay,
others observed that
okay,
work was being done in the borough.
okay. Okay. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
I'm going back to Cleveland when it's fine. The fine police chief.
Thank you, sir.
Go give me a ticket.
All right, yes, sir.
Are there any other visitors that would like to speak? Okay, we'll move on. Solicitor.
Okay, Stacy, I believe we have some update on Marshall Avenue.
The current owner of the property did communicate with us, and hopefully by the next meeting, we will have an update for you that is in a positive direction. And that's all I'd like to say because of confidentiality of the situation.
Right, and, I don't have anything to report under 546C. I will have some report for next meeting. And meeting with the International Brotherhood of Teamsters, it stated there were executive sessions held. So that's all I have unless council has any other questions.
Any questions for solicitor? Okay, borough manager?
Thank you. Since the last meeting, there was a meeting of the co-op of the 4 municipalities that share equipment, and Scott Stelz from our staff attended that meeting on behalf of the borough, and we are interested in the purchase of a roller, but it's cost prohibitive and not useful for us. It was discussed to also purchase a striping machine, a painting machine. So that's the topic that will be in and covered in the budget discussions for 2025. We continued in the office and also the finance chair working with the auditors on the 2 audits for 2023. We continued to work with G-Works, who's our software company for accounts payable, accounts receivable, payroll. So that should be live within the month. We continue to train the administrative assistant in her current position. We received complaints and responded to right-to-know requests that were multiple. We entered the drinking water test results for the time period covered by July 11th through the 28th. Communicated with DEP on such lab results and test results. They have any? No. That will be reported in the next newsletter and has been reported to council by email. We are in communication with DEP. DEP will be on site tomorrow for their triennial inspection that will be covered by 2 days of a site visit. The ambulance has been working with us and the state DCD office to hopefully obtain an ambulance because they are in dire need. The park restrooms experienced some vandalism and therefore they are closed by padlock, deadbolt at this time except during rental and other situations. We continue to communicate with the new property owner that is surrounded by our watershed property about litter, and may I ask you if I could give her your information to then communicate with the public about littering. Okay. And the drinking water service line inventory, I attended training for reporting, which is due mid-October. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Next up is committee reports. Environment and Conservation, Ms. Cook.
For our source water protection plan, we're putting up signs, you may have seen them in other communities that say, if there's a spill, call 911, because any runoff from a spill from a commercial vehicle or any vehicle could damage our source water. And the signs are in, and so many things are happening. The guys are gonna get to it.
So do we have the signs?
Do we have the signs for a while?
We have 4 signs, and we can't get those installed? Or what's a holdup?
I guess the guys are busy with other things.
So it's our workers that have to install them?
There's a question on one of them, but I see no reason the other 3 can't.
It's not like the it's not the PennDOT or somebody holding it up?
Well, apparently, Charlie, I don't know if you heard anything about this.
No, we have the permit.
So they can be installed?
There's one that they're saying is in Mexico. It's not in Topton, the location.
I finally heard from somebody in the afternoon from PennDOT who said the approved location map with the permit, they were approximate locations for 4 sites.
Yes, they need to go at the borough.
At the Borough and Maxitawny Borough and Long Swamp Township lines.
That's correct. Yeah.
So they can go ahead and do them?
Yeah, they just put them at the line. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Peer calls are just
Okay, next up, personnel policy, Ms. Falcone.
I have nothing to report on personnel, but for policy, I do have something I wanted to mention. And this was brought up by Kathy. Kathy had stated that there was an issue at the park, and if you want to maybe give a little detail, that someone had
So one of those soft air pellet guns and is discharging it in the park at other children. And I also have been finding regular BBs now too.
Okay.
Yes,
so
I think it might be the same person that was discharging the soft air is also discharging regular BBs now too,
So we do have stuff in our ordinances that do not have that.
Yes, discharging firearms or something.
Well, there's actually,
It's not even firearms, so any projectile.
so there's a few different areas, and there's also one other item I'll mention that was mentioned, and I'm not sure, Carol, if it was you, about there were adolescents walking through the park, and they were yelled at really for no reason by an adult that was, for whatever reason, upset with them because they were maybe just youths, and they thought maybe they weren't doing anything wrong, but walking through the park.
So where they were allowed in the rec.
Like kids, right?
No, the adults, like they're not allowed.
Yeah, and so we also have, an ordinance about that as well. So in our book of ordinances, that it says here that, it's unlawful to restrict somebody from a park who has a right to be there. So that's it, so we can address that. And then we also have in here, in our rules, that no one is allowed to endanger the person's safety. These are broad statements, but they're already in our book. I don't know, do we have a code of conduct for in the park that was written up when the park was redone? I think
Rules.
yes,
Yes, park rules.
the rules, and I did not see that in my big thick book of documents that's really online, is our codification. So I don't know if you could maybe give me a copy of that and I'll get one to you. And we'll see if there's some place we can post that, but we do have
There
coverage.
are basic park rules posted about the park. You know, some of it is common sense,
Right.
you know, and that's.
So we do have restrictions for those things, just so you know. And I don't know if there's anything that council would like to do with regard to that, or just know that
Well, that way, if I do see them with it, I can inform them that they
absolutely.
put it away.
And I'm gonna give these papers to you that just
Or,
have.
you know, Well, I'll be calling the police. It's like we'll be calling the police then. Okay, as long as I know that.
Well, and actually, there is, we actually have the violations, especially with minors, that their parents are responsible for them. So if this is someone that's.
This is an adult.
An adult shooting things in our property.
Yes, it's an adult. He's an adult. Now, we do have some kiddos that are doing Nerf darts. They're Nerf darts, you know. They're having fun, and actually other kiddos have joined in with them. Went and bought little Nerf dart things, and they're running around, and parents are helping to pick up the Nerf darts, and Nerf darts aren't hurting you, you're not
Well, if
shooting
they're not
BBs
causing a
at
problem, they're
somebody.
not injuring, and they're not leaving around debris, I guess, you know.
They do leave some of the darts lay around. They don't see them all. I pick them up, and they know to pick them up on my porch when they go through again. You know, and they grab them.
I'm familiar with the person you're talking about, and you should just call the police.
I didn't catch them with the gun though. I was just informed that it was them, but I did tell the person that spoke to me about it to let me know when they're there with it, because I will go over. I will go over and tell them.
Okay, so I have nothing
Now
else
that I know
to
where
report.
Where were the BBs found?
In the pavilion and around the pavilion in the grass. They were found in the play area. I found some of the salt pellets in the play area, in the parking area. Yeah, and now the actual BBs themselves, most of them were in the pavilion.
Yeah, those, we should not have BBs on the
No.
property. That should not be allowed.
Okay. You're up, Kathy.
Oh.
Finance Committee. Oh, no, me, streets, I have no report.
Oh, yeah.
Finance Committee, Ms. Hassler.
Oh, you don't have anything?
I don't have a report.
I would like to have a motion to approve the list of bills and transfers as were presented to you. I would also like to say that I was over last week one afternoon, and Stacy, Trinda, and myself, we started on the budget. So the process has begun. It's a tedious project, but I'm very helpful. And I'm learning also.
I'll make a motion to approve the list of bills and transfers.
I have a question.
Sure.
The, August 30th, the Rockland Township Board of Supervisors, $1,454. You know what that was?
It was the co-op equipment insurance premium payment.
Insurance?
Yes.
Not the actual equipment payment.
No, that was for the co-op insurance.
Thank you.
Sure.
Do I need a second?
Yeah, I have a couple questions here, so,
Or can we have to
Yes,
have
second for discussion, yes.
I'll second.
So I need a second, and then discussion.
Yeah,
I'll second.
Okay.
no any discussion.
So M&A excavating, for $5,049, it's on page 2, about further way down. Do you know, maybe Stacy, maybe you would know, do you know what that was for? I was just curious.
It's for digging up Orchard Alley after it clogged
Okay, that's what I wanted to know, if that.
because of the failure of the pump station on
Okay,
Washington
gotcha.
Street.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that's what that was for.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, carried. Anything else?
No, that's it. Thank you.
Okay. Community relations is currently vacant. Are you aware of anything? Going to be reported?
We are going to have our first TCOC Halloween Parade Safety Meeting this week.
Thank you. Properties Committee is also currently vacant. And I see there's some items on the agenda. Do you want to cover them, or are they?
I have not reached out to Schultz Forest Management, but I would like to, if it's all right with council, to reach out to them for a status, because it has been the couple of months that they said would take for them to inventory.
Absolutely.
Okay. The Oak Alley project is still underway with Brian Smith from BIA communicating with the funding source to get approval for the changes.
It's in the engineer's report, it's in review by DCMA.
No status change on pool demolition. The Recreation Committee met last Wednesday at 6:30 and was presented with 2 ideas that were designed by Barry Isit as part of their grant-funded revision to the park master plan. The next meeting on the 16th of October at 6:30 here in Borough Hall will present a more revised, merged idea plan for the master plan revision. Anyone is welcome to attend that meeting. Thank you.
Okay, Utilities Committee, also vacant.
Accounts receivable we're working on putting people through the payment plan process. I don't know if any council has questions, but it's kind of pre-deadline for turning off. So at this point, yes, some people are due and we do have a high accounts receivable balance, but it's still time. There's still time before the next late notice shut-off warning goes out.
Do you know when that date is? That was a week away or?
So it was sent out July 25th, due August 24th.
Okay.
And now September will be, yes.
Got it.
And then the next bills go out in October, the end of October. And it won't be an estimate, it will be an actual read with the help of our staff to read the numbers.
Okay.
And then the next item would be under Charlie's report for the engineer.
All right, I have one comment to make under committee reports. All the new council members, please make sure I have your phone number. I'm gonna reach out to each of you. All these vacant committees need to be filled, but I'd like to know how you would feel that you would best serve before I make the assignments next meeting. So then they'll all be filled at the next regular meeting. Engineers.
Okay, since the last, the changes are in the MS4 report, we did issue the draft, we got feedback, and the final version will be coming back for signature. It is due by the end of the month. We'll let you know when that has been received. The LSA statewide grants are due November. What we talked about previously, and so I need your consideration for doing that, and thank you, don't need to tell me tonight, but we'll need to carry through next month with that, would be, we were only partially funded on East Barkley, and so asking for the rest of the work on East Barkley to be done as part of a grant, that would complete that project and allow us to do the full 2 blocks. It was the idea that had previously been discussed, but now that you're in the council, we want to talk about that through. The grant agreement for the chlorine contact basin rehabilitation was signed recently. My draft schedule's in here. We'll meet with Alex at the plant. We'll get that through. Plan is to bid it in October and have it for your November meeting forward. And that's something that they can do can't do it in the worst of weather, but they can coordinate with Alex and we can get that time. The big one, we did bid Washington Street out again. The bid came in, we got one bid, came in at $511,000. We have about $200,000 for funding. You don't have to act tonight, but there's nothing we can do legally with that contractor to lower that bid.
Right, you can engage in post-bid negotiations. However, council can make a decision to reject all bids and then go back to the drawing board, rebid.
So I will meet with that contractor, and there's 2 others that express some interest, and see what we can do to get that. We still have the option to go ahead and buy the equipment if you wish. And so that is on the table, and that will speed up delivery of the project, even while we're trying to rebid the actual installation of that equipment. It is legal under the grant conditions, and we have that. I actually have 2 quotes for that. I'll make sure you have that, so you can do that.
Yeah, I would like to move forward with the purchase of the equipment because of the extended timelines.
Right.
And then we can reject all bids and rebid the project.
This seems extremely high, but I don't know, what are your thoughts on this amount?
I need to debrief with him and see.
Oh.
He was surprised he was the only bidder when we talked. So
Do you wanna come back with a recommendation for us next meeting?
Well, so we vetted the bid. What we've provided is the bid look responsive. Since you don't have the funds, and as long as you can't make the funds available, the recommendation is to reject the bid and rebid. If you can't finance it, you can't award. I've got to put it that way as to want.
Do we have the money for the equipment though?
Yes, it's in the grant, yes.
So what was the total of the grant amount?
The grant is $189,000.
And that will cover the equipment.
That'll cover the equipment, and when we put together the stuff for the 22 grant, it would cover everything.
Okay, do we need to make a motion and reject all bids tonight?
Yeah, you have it in the agenda, so you can.
Okay, can I have a motion to reject all bids for the project that we can't afford, so?
I'll make that motion.
Can I have a second? All in favor?
I'll second.
Any opposed? Okay, and as far as the purchase of equipment,
I will get you those.
okay,
I need to talk to the contractors and work through, because I would not advise buying the equipment if for some reason we don't think we can get it installed.
yep,
I'll be direct, we need to, and the grant agencies would look not good on buying the equipment and then not being able to install, so I need to get you an updated, that's what I want to get from talking with the contractors, is an updated cost for that installation.
okay.
And I'd just like to say, sewer has finally repaid all of its money that it owed back to general fund from the June loan payment. Sewer has been paid it. They have an interest-only payment coming due on December 1st, and hopefully sewer's gonna be able to pay that on their own without a loan from general fund. We're hoping that they can. Where the public works trucks is gonna be paid off. Hopefully this year. Sewer loan isn't gonna be paid off till June 2026, so, we can't really, and the park loan is 2029.
But we need to get the station. Alex has been doing
Yeah.
an incredible job of nursing that
Keeping it
station
going.
along.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, it's not worth $500,000.
It's not,
Yeah.
but we're gonna look to get that's
A question?
Yes.
The contractor who put that bid in, is that someone that we've done business with historically, or is there a long-term relationship? Why I ask you that is because it costs them money to put a bid through, and to put through something in good faith and to have it shut down because we don't have the money, and failure to plan on our part is not a problem on their part. They're penalizing, and I have to wonder if they want to bid on us in the future. If I were them, I'd probably say no. And if they're a good contractor, you don't want to alienate someone that's good.
I have not worked with them here. It was Barasso yesterday.
Okay, is that all you have?
Mm-hmm.
All right, old business. I see hometown hero update. Is there anything under old business?
So, now that it's gotten to the point of a trickle only coming in for new orders, and we're at 6, and we must order 10 at a time, it was a thought of the office, especially Trinda, to do kind of a, hey, we're ordering the last batch. Come one, come all. We can go over 10 and then do those last ones, order that through the process that we have, and then get council's ideas on how to proceed from there. Because we probably have flooded the market with all that we can purchase. I don't think we're going to be getting any more requests, nor, do we have an abundance of streets to hang them on. The school, it's their project. I think they should have a say in how this proceeds. Are they going to be the ones who are going to keep track of every 2 years, once a banner has been up, to take it down or to approach them to keep it up?
I say turn everything over to the school, it's their project, do the last push, as long as Trina has the time, to do the last push.
Do that last push.
And I saw you have pictures that were never picked up,
Thankfully, our administrative assistant reached out, we had more picked up, but there still are.
There's still a couple,
Yes.
I give them a month or so to pick them up, and then turn them over, maybe the school will have better luck, maybe there's grandchildren or somebody that attend the school that they can, contact
But
somebody
because
to
there
do that.
was at least a motion in the past for, the borough to take part and help in this, we kind of need a motion now to proceed.
And does the school have their own truck to go around and take them down as need be?
I do not know, I don't think
No,
so.
they don't.
We should
No,
probably-
they don't have their own truck.
We put them up, we should probably put them down, just.
Just, guys, it just puts more on the guys that they have to do them.
My understanding was we were going to, it was an option, we were going to take them down for 2 years now, so they didn't start getting ready. And then return to whoever ordered it.
That is the policy that's there now, yes. We're not tracking that though, because we're just the intermediary, funding and installation and uninstall. So I would like, at least guidance from council on how you'd like us to proceed.
I'm furious, turn it over. Turn it back over to the school.
Could I ask a quick question?
Yes.
If you need to round out to 10, I had approached Michelle, in the past and said, would there ever be an option for some of us that are residents who had loved ones served but were not Topton residents? And she said that would be looked at possibly, I don't want to misquote her, once all of the Topton people got to weigh in. Because there may be some of us that would put up something from a loved one who had served but wasn't a Topton person, but their town doesn't do this wonderful thing.
Might be a good way to finish it up.
But that would be on the school to
Change the criteria of
change
the
the
program, because
criteria,
it's their
yeah.
program, it's their project.
Yeah, that would actually be school changing it then.
Well, we can turn the management of the program back over, but we'll have to continue with putting them up, taking them down.
But turn everything else over to the school.
But you're not keeping track of it 2 years. So if they tell you, okay, it's 2 years, and then
Exactly.
our guys will take them.
Exactly. So if it's all right, we'll reach out to Mr. Mark at the school district and proceed from there and then update council.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for.
Okay, Topton Community Ambulance.
I don't have any updates since our last meeting, we have a meeting this week.
Okay, Topton Borough Preservation Board.
Yes. Larry Wurst, who does a fantastic job with the museum, sent a full page of different things he's been doing. And our balance right now for the museum, which is what the Preservation Board oversees, is $3,582.85. I do want to mention that this Saturday, from 9 to 2, there's going to be an open house at the museum. This is the annual one at the 12th anniversary. If any council members wanted to bring in baked goods of any kind, he does ask, because people may take something and walk around the museum, that it not be maybe a powder donut would not be a good thing. But if anybody wanted to, and stopping by is an encouragement to Larry. And if you haven't been in that museum, it changes month to month. He gets things coming in from Georgia, from wherever. People move, lifelong residents in Topton, retired, and they're going back through boxes, and we gotta get rid of some of this stuff. Hey, look at all this Topton stuff, send it to the museum. So it's a fascinating place. You go
It does a
look.
wonderful job.
Yeah, great little walk down memory lane. So open house Saturday night too. And that's it.
Okay, thank you. And the Brandywine Community Library.
Hey, thanks to Carol for the stormwater watershed program up at the library. I attended that. I really learned a lot. So that's pretty cool. Not a lot to say, but there is a program in the county called Passport. It started September 1st, and they're encouraging everyone to visit every library in the system. So I believe there's 19 different stops, if I remember correctly. You get your passport up the hill with your library card, and then you go, and for every 5 you visit, you get an entry in for a gift card. And there's a big prize for somebody that goes to all 19. There's a raffle for that as well. So I would encourage you not only to visit us, but to go around and see what the other libraries are like. Because it's pretty cool. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have one last item before I move for adjournment. Do I have to call an executive session to ask to schedule an executive session? Or can I just ask them?
Ask around, you can ask.
Okay, all the
You don't
new
even have to
council
ask.
members, please see me after the meeting. I want to pick a date next week for your first executive session.
And the legal matters?
Yeah. So, can I have a motion for adjournment?
I'll make a motion.
Second? All in favor?
Yes.